And welcome back, and it is the 8th of May. It is the Further Maths 5-a-day. Now, I don't look at these questions before I do them, but I can kind of see a big triangle in front of me, so I'm wondering where this is going. So let's just zoom in and have a look. Shown below is triangle ABC. Q is a point on AC such that AQAC equals 3 to 4. So AQ is 3/7 and AC is the whole thing. Oh, actually, no, I've read that wrong, haven't I? I have to be very careful here. So in other words, this is 3/4. I'm going to do it in red. This is 3/4 and this is 1/4. And that's because I'm not doing A to Q, Q to C. I'm doing A to Q compared to the whole thing, A to C. So it's going to be 3/4 of it. Nice, easy error to make, as I very nearly did. Work out the equation of the straight line that passes through BQ. So B, which I know, and Q that I don't know. So in other words, find out what Q is, find the equation of the line that goes through B and Q. Okay, usual thing I'm going to do here. If you've seen me do this before, you know where I'm going to do. A to C is the vector that goes from 3 to 19, which is up 16, and from -5 to 15, which is up 20. Now I know, because I mentioned it above, that A to Q is 3/4 of that. So 3/4 of 16 is 12, and 3/4 of 20 is 15. Which means that Q is going to be the point A, which is 3 plus 12, and the Y value, which is -5 plus 15, which means my Q is 15, 10. So I've got my Q. Notably, I've now got two values. I've got my B coordinate, I've got my Q coordinate. I just need the line in between. So let's start with the gradient. So from B to Q, 12 to 10 is -2. And 10 to 15 is +5. This isn't going to be a very nice number, but it means my gradient is -2/5. So I've got an equation, y equals -2/5 of x plus c. Then I'm going to use, which one shall I use? I'm going to use the point Q, because I know that divides by 5, which might make it a bit easier. So let's do that. So therefore 10 is equal to -2/5 of 15 plus c. Now, 15 divided by 5 is 3, times -2 is -6, so therefore 10 equals -6 plus c, which means that c is equal to 16, which means my final answer is going to be y is equal to -2/5 of x plus 16. And that is it. Good question, that. So a quite difficult, but not too bad question. Bit of a mix of different topics in one go. Next question. Find the range of values of x for which the function, gives me a quadratic, is decreasing. So the definition of decreasing is the first derivative is less than 0. So let's differentiate. So if I differentiate, that tells me that the first differential is going to be 6x minus 6. And I want that to be less than 0, which means that x is going to be less than equal to 1. Nice straightforward question, that one. Next one. Oh, we haven't done one of these before, have we? Okay, good question. It's a solve, but it gives me no help whatsoever. So if you don't know, well, what I'm going to do is I'm first of all going to say that f of x is equal to that thing there. Just allows me to write it slightly easier. Then I'm going to work out some values. Now, just in my head, if I put 1 in, that's 1 minus 12 plus 29, but that's not going to work. But I think -1 might do. So let's try. So -1. So -1 cubed is -1, minus 12. 29 times -1 is -29 plus 42. And then I've got 42 minus 29 minus another 12. So that's going to give me 31. It's 41, sorry. Minus another 1 is 42. That it does indeed give me 0, which crucially means that I know that x plus 1 is a factor, which means I can then factorize this down to a quadratic. Now, let's do this carefully. What do I multiply x by to get x cubed? Well, it's going to be x squared. What do I multiply 1 by, so this one here, to get 42? Well, it's going to be plus 42. Just try and keep this the same colour. This is a bit slightly harder. If I do x times 42, I have 42x, but I want 29x. So therefore, what do I do to 42 to get 29? Well, I'm going to take away 13. So in other words, I need this centre term here to be minus 13x. And that's it. I've managed to factorise it down to one linear equation and one quadratic. But that's not finished. So I can factorise further. So it's going to be x plus 1. X, and that's going to be x. Now because this is a plus and that's a minus, they're both going to be minus. Which two numbers are multiplied to make 42? Well, it's going to be 6 and 7, isn't it? So it's going to be x minus 7, x minus 6. This is a great question, which means the answer to my question is going to be minus 1, 6, and 7. So minus 1 from here, 6 from here, and 7 from here. The question is basically saying, can you factorize it? And then can you tell me what the roots are? Great ending question. I really like that question, I have to say. Let me know how it went for you. As ever, usual thing, please do like, subscribe. See you tomorrow. Thanks all.